Hey everybody, welcome back. This is C. Miller with Sugar Publishing, and we are here live with another episode of Indie Author Insights. And today, right now, we have the brilliant and talented Miss Kimberly DuWaup Bolden. How are you today, DuWaup?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing okay. What's the weather like in Cincinnati?
Oh, it's raining.
It's
Raining,
raining
but
up there right
warm.
now?
Mm-hmm.
Is
It's
it cold?
warm.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. So you got a book project right on the head, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, so this is my debut book. I am a brand new author. The title of my book is Sincerely DuWaup, and it's due to be released in like a few weeks. So it'll be dropping real soon. It's actually a part of a dual project. So I have a book and I also have a streaming music project as well that goes along with the book, and it's entitled Sincerely DuWaup, the soundtrack. So there's actually a soundtrack that goes along with the book. But Sincerely DuWaup, I started writing that probably about a year ago now. Started working on it, and you know, it was definitely something brand new for me. I hadn't necessarily considered even too much becoming an author, I would say, or even writing a book. I considered it over years, but I hadn't taken it seriously up until about a year ago. So the opportunity came. I decided to go along with it, and here we are. We have a book. It's a book of poetry, actually.
A book of poetry. You got an incredible book of poetry. Was it intimidating, the idea of writing a book and becoming an author? Was it intimidating?
Yeah. And I would say that's probably the thing that kept me from becoming an author for so long, or what, kind of the thing behind why I didn't just jump right in and say, oh, let me write a book, is because I really didn't have a lot of knowledge about publishing books. And so, given all of the other things that I already had going on, I'm a poet, I'm a singer, a songwriter, entrepreneur, I have a family, I work full time. I got a lot going on. And so, just with everything else I had going on, I really didn't know if I wanted to, really take on learning the ins and outs and how to and what to do in order to publish a book. So it just wasn't something that I had like at the forefront for a long time, because it was a bit intimidating to learn something that I felt like was totally new,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could understand that. And then you started to function in a whole nother area that you weren't aware of, because you developed the skill of editing.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you served on the editing team for The Husband, the Wife, and Their God. And tell us a little bit about that editing and some of the challenges that go along with it.
The editing process really, it's a process. The part about editing is when you are going through a book, when you're editing for for content, for errors, for whatever it is that you're searching for, you really have to be able to try to separate yourself from getting caught up or to involve in the content and what is being presented. First of all, just to go through and to make sure that the grammatically it is correct, right? So you go through that process, and it's kind of a process where you have to kind of skim through and go through on more than one occasion, probably 3 or 4 times, to really get to what is is the content working well, does it flow, does it make sense, and then also, is it correct, and is it appealing, is it aesthetically pleasing, all of those things that go into the editing process. So being able to work on that book was really helped me even so when it came to writing my own book and, getting it to the point of being published. And, so that really helped because it helped me to understand that process even more.
Absolutely. I'm certainly with you on that one. I think one of the things that we learned when we were working as a team on womanly wisdom is how important it is to factor in some time and set the book aside for a while, because you will have done the reading, you will have done the developmental editing, the line editing, content editing, and you feel like you have a finished product. But when you set it aside a week and a half or whatever, and then you go back, you see all these things that you didn't see because your eyes are more fresh. And I think that was an important lesson, and we had to do that with Sincerely DuWaup. The team had to do that with Sincerely DuWaup, right?
Yes, definitely.
About how much time do you think it'll be healthy to take, like taking your eyes off the work?
I'm with you. Like you said, maybe about a week or so. Give you a moment to, because once you read over something a few times, you kind of have it in your mind what it's supposed to say. And so to kind of to step away from it long enough to where you can get that out of your mind as far as remembering what it should say, to the point where you can read it for what it actually says.
Yes. Okay, great advice. We'll keep those tips in mind. Happy to have you as part of the team, but you got some background when it comes to marketing. So help us understand some of the things we could put in place when we get ready to market our book. But what's your strategy? What do you have laid out?
Okay. Well, first of all, the market, once you finish the whole creative process of writing, the book and getting it to a point of being published, then there's a whole nother phase that comes in, which is the marketing phase. And honestly, the marketing really starts in the beginning, because when you consider your book cover, the cover in and of itself, when you consider the blurb that's on the back, the font that you're using, how is it aesthetically appealing? Does it look good? Does it make someone want to at least pick it up and say, what is this? Or, click on it and say, what is that? It really starts in the beginning. But the marketing, that happens once you have created your book or your product or whatever it is, that's a whole separate thing. And the first thing I would say, as far as advice when it comes to marketing, is to have a budget. Okay, to be realistic and know that it is going to cost you some money in order to market things in a way that is going to be productive for you. You are going to need some graphic design. You are going to need someone who can, maybe put together some video content. You're going to need, materials, what they call swag materials, things like that, that you are able to give away in order to promote your book. You're going to need those type of things. It's going to cost you money to get out and to get out and about, to be able to go to different events or be a part of different book fairs, or get your book seen in different places. It's going to cost you money. You have to have a budget. You have to be realistic. Some people have gifts, with artistic abilities where they can create things for themselves, which is good. But even with that, you still going to need to have a realistic budget. It's going to take you some time. Give yourself some time. Just because your book is published and it's ready to go does not mean that you just push play and then it just takes off and you don't have to do anything after that. You definitely have to have a plan. Who is your, who are you selling it to? First of all, who do you think is going to be interested in what it is that you are, that you have to say, or the answers that you have to whatever problems of the world, So you really have to have a keen sense of what you have, who wants it, and how to get it to them.
Sounds great.
And
Yeah.
then the money.
And then the
How
money,
you gonna
yeah.
pay for it?
Yeah, you got to have that money. You got to have a way to pay for all of those things. So when you get ready to set up at a book signing, a book fair, or what have you, what are some of the things that you like to have on your table, and some of the things that you like to have to give away?
Well, of course, I mean, we're dealing with books, so bookmarks. I have these little journals, since my book is it's a poetry book. And really I try to, so I have like these little journals here that hey, my happiness journal, things like that don't cost a whole lot of money, but these are things that are fun things that you could give away, that you can get other people in the mindset of, maybe even, writing creatively for themselves, and to understand maybe your process a little bit better. So like little things like that, little trinkets, definitely business cards, always have business cards on hand, flyers, things that have if you have, a QR code where somebody could scan it easily to get to, different links, have those available. So that kind of thing. I like to make it look nice, I, of course, I mean, I'm all about aesthetics. Okay. So if it looks nice, people are going to come over and they're going to check it out. Like, oh, what is this? You want more than just to have a stack of books on your table, as far as I'm concerned. You want to have more than that. You want something that is going to look nice and that is going to really connect to what it is that what your book is about. What are you selling? Who are you trying to draw to your table? So those are all things that I would say to consider. I have a website. My website is DuWaup.com, DuWaup.com. You can purchase my book directly from my website. So I take my laptop, I set up my laptop, and you see the page, it's right there. Like you could literally come over and just order the book right directly from my laptop. And even that is aesthetically appealing as far as I'm concerned. So, you got to draw people in. People see first before they touch, before they read, before they hear anything. They're going to see what it is that you have. So make sure it looks appealing.
Yeah, that's great advice. And just then in the vein of looking appealing, one thing that you did in particular, and you put great emphasis on, is when you were putting your writing together and putting your book together, you had some artwork that you wanted to incorporate to make sure that you brought out a visual as it pertained to whatever poem that was written. How would you explain to a poet, if somebody's writing a book of poetry, how would you explain to them, the importance of something like that?
I thought it was important to be able to include, visuals, graphics, and things like that in the book, because it gives you kind of a break in the monotony, if you will. So it's more to it than, just flipping from page to page, words after words after words. It kind of just gives your mind a moment to, kind of focus in on something else, take that in, and then pause for a minute. And it really helps you, to me, it helps you to be able to even absorb the poem or the writing, the content in of itself, when you have a visual to go along with it. So then you see that visual, you take a moment, you absorb that, and then you move on. It's just kind of a nice little break, even for your mind, when you're reading. You don't feel so much like, you're just going from one page to the next, to the next, to the next. It really gives you the opportunity to just kind of take a break.
Yeah, it's like kind of like the exhale in the reading.
Yes,
the breath in between the breaths or what have you. So we'll keep that in mind. And You are an established spoken word artist,
Mhm.
very well-known name in the Cincinnati area. And since your book is a book of poetry, what we have done is a couple of the spoken word artists that come on and share indie author insights. We would ask them if they don't mind, would they share some of their poetry? Would you like to do that? Would you be interested in something like that? Because
Sure.
we
So
welcome it. Go on
maybe,
and spit on it then.
maybe one of the poems from the book.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
by all means.
Sure.
Whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this is this actually is here's the book. Sincerely DuWaup. See that? And as you can see, those aesthetics, I created the cover art as well for this book. So I had a lot to do with pretty much start to finish for this book. So here we go. This poem is called The Light. And this is in the section in the book that's called Note to Self. So I wrote this poem to myself for myself, but I dedicate this definitely to anyone who can relate. So it goes like this. When in the light, be courageous and audacious enough to risk eye rolls and low blows. Be cautious of condescending, calumnious tongues of those less confident. Stay up, stay blessed, stay living the best life you can, passionately planning and progressing, personally paying attention to things that pertain to you. Pay no mind their judgmental looks, their words unspoken or words spoken under their breaths. Let observation be 20/20 even in the shade. Side eyes and side conversations. Add them to the equation as you figure things out. But don't be afraid nor swayed. Don't trade one day to walk in their shoes. Be too busy staying busy, being productive. Be confident and carefree. Keep maneuvering, blocking, bobbing, and bouncing off of their insecurities. In the grand scheme of things, you're blessed and you know it. So don't be afraid to show it. Can't help but share it. It's a vibe. It's a whole vibe. And besides, a positive perception of a person of the female persuasion bossing up is an occasion for celebration. In a world where misogyny and sexism reigns and racism remains, be dedicated to leaving the blessings of the essence of your presence everywhere you go. After every show, every speaking engagement, every business meeting, every collaboration, let everything you do be with integrity and grace. Be proud because you deserve to be exactly where you are today, doing exactly what you're doing in whatever the moment, for no other reason than you're determined and dedicated. You are light. You shine. Cast your rays far and wide. Be a guiding light, a beacon of hope. And when your light unfurls, the wind will capture it, leaving magnificent molecules of magic upon everything and everyone in its path. Instead of dimming to coddle their confidence, instead of shrinking to ease their egos, keep the light on. Let it shine. Let it radiate like the sun. Because when it's all said and done at the end of the day, that's all that really matters anyway. Just shine. And that's the light.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you again for stopping by and being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, wouldn't have it no other way. You know, we value you. You've been such a help and continual support to keep things going, and we appreciate you. Right before we get ready to get out of here, why don't you share with everybody how they could find you, how they could get your book, and some of your social media stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, anybody listening, all of Sister DuWaup stuff will be listed all in the description. So we'll have the links for you to connect with her, but we're gonna let her share a little bit about how you get in touch with her, for whatever events you might have.
So yes, DuWaup.com. That is my website. Really, if you all social media platforms, any platform you go to for real, if you just at DuWaup, DuWaup, you'll find me. And really the easiest way to get to me and to get to all of my platforms is to find me via my Linktree link. So that's linktree.com/DuWaup. You can find my website there. You'll find my social media there. And then you'll also find links there to all of the platforms where you can find the Sincerely DuWaup, the soundtrack. I actually have 2 songs that are streaming right now. So you can find all the music, all the books, the content, everything at linktree.com/DuWaup. I would say that would be the easiest way to get.
Sounds great. We appreciate you so much. Everybody that's tuning in, stay tuned. The book drops, the book and the CD drop December 3rd this year, and there is a release party December 4th. If you're in the Cincinnati area, it'll be at Artsville. We'd love to have you there. This is C. Miller with Sugar Publishing. I almost forgot. And this has been another episode of Indie Author Insights. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Sister DuWaup. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one.